Welcome to another episode of the Bird Herd with Redbird Esports. Today, of course, we always have Terry and Max. And today we are joined by Myles Miller. So, Myles, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantabulous, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Myles, of course, playing on our Varsity Rocket League team. The best, the good old game of car soccer. I love it.
It's pretty good.
I've loved it for 5 years now, so
Really?
hopefully I can love
Okay.
it for a few more.
I was gonna ask. I was definitely gonna ask how long you've been playing Rocket League, like what level you are at this point, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, if I were to just summarize it, I've been playing. My roommate actually got me into the game in 2015. It was the first season of Rocket League. That was actually a extension of Super Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars. It was like the kind of beta version. But I've been playing basically since season one. I have almost 6,000 hours of game time now.
Wow.
And my rank, I'm in the top point. I think it's 0.2 or point, yeah, 0.2 or 0.1%. I'm a grand champion, and last season I was around 1900 MMR, if that means anything to anyone listening.
Yeah, I knew
wow.
that like they implemented the whole MMR system. I bought it like last year and binged it for a few months, and got up to like plat 3 or something, and then I just kind of stopped playing the game. But I saw they like kind of implemented all that, and Epic was adding some cool things. Do you think the Epic acquisition, I guess, like really made the game any better or worse?
Well, the free to play aspect that they added obviously makes it really, really desirable for content creators too. And I stream in my spare time a little bit, so I've seen a little bump in people where my stream enjoying the game now that couldn't play before, and just having more people view it. But on the other hand, the update of adding blueprints into the game as opposed to just having keys and crates that could unlock items for you. The switch to blueprints, where you were given, instead of crates or keys, you're given these blueprints that you could essentially pay money to unlock, which are way more expensive than opening a crate, kind of ruined the whole trading economy of the game. So you kind of have to pay more into the game to get more of the in-game items. But overall, I really don't care too much about getting in-game items. So I like the acquisition of Epic overall.
Yeah, I mean, obviously those items provide no competitive advantage, but I do remember them being pretty cool, especially like the esports cars or whatever the heck. They have all that cool stuff kind of promoting their esports community, which I really like.
Yeah, and the thing with the cars too is, even though some of them you can only get by buying, there is one car. There's only maybe 7 or 8 different types of hitboxes, they call it in the game, and there's maybe 3 or 4 different cars for each hitbox. So they all act the same, and at least one of every hitbox is free to play. So there really is no competitive advantage whatsoever for people that pay.
Yeah, I always did feel like Rocket League was one of those games that was pretty balanced in terms of really no advantage for people, skins get you wins or whatever.
Yeah, no, not the case here, thankfully.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not League.
No, it's not League. Dude, I play League too. Some of those skins are maybe like $25-$30 for like one skin.
Yeah. But their hitboxes are weird on them. So it's like some of them like like you might have just like Morgana's Q is just that slightly whiter on one
Exactly.
skin.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And I'm like, I hate it because of that. Or it's like, hey, you take the police skin on Volibear, or the 1,000-year one, the free one that she got if you owned him, before a certain time. Those two skins are like the worst for his E right now.
For people playing against him, at least.
Yes, for people playing against them, because of the fact that like you can't really see it hitting the ground, and it's just not fun to deal with that. So.
Yeah, no. Glad it's not like that in Rocket League.
I'm not gonna lie, I was actually gonna ask you that question. You brought up that you played League. I just wanted to know, like, outside of playing, you're obviously playing at a very, very high level of Rocket League right now, and everybody needs a break. So, like, what games do you play when you are not playing Rocket League?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you put it well. Rocket League is a really, really fast-paced game compared to a lot of other games. And the games that I play to kind of contrast that style of play are League, because I could throw on a podcast, I could just listen to some music, do whatever I wanted to while playing, because there's only certain points in League where you have to actually focus 100%, like team fights, for example. So I play a lot of League of Legends, and then I used to play Hearthstone a lot. It was a card game. Well, it still is a card game. It's very popular, but I kind of veered away from that because it's one of those games where you kind of have to know pretty much every card being played in the meta right now to understand how to beat what you think the other deck that the opponent has is. So it's normally League right now. And then in my spare time outside of video games, I disc golf a lot too, which I was actually doing earlier today.
Yeah, beautiful day to do it over here.
Oh yeah, this week's probably the last week of great weather. Well, I hope not, but it seems like it's utilizing.
I agree. I hope not.
Yeah, I swear these Midwest winters still make you a different breed of person, really.
Okay, and you talk about that. I've lived here for 20 years now, and every winter I forget just how brutal it gets, and I'm like, oh my god, why am I here? It gets
worse every year, it seems.
I feel like an old man at this point. I am cold. I am brittle. I would like to go to Florida. I would like to go anywhere warmer.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. I forget about it every year how much I hate it.
I'd much rather die of heat exhaustion than pneumonia any day of the week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I would rather not die from either. But
true.
Yes, I think I'll take the heat exhaustion.
Theoretically, in theory, we get another like 60 years.
It's funny that you mentioned the disc golf because I was gonna say I looked at your Twitch earlier and I saw that you said you play disc golf and that you actually used to golf like all the time. So do you actually still golf here and there, or is it more disc golf that you're kind of into?
No, I started golfing all the way back when I was 6 is when I actually went into organized tournaments from my parents signing me up.
Oh, wow.
But in high school around, I think it was my sophomore year, I worked at a golf course that let me practice golf for free. But I always saw at the corner of my eye every time I was leaving the parking lot, I saw the disc golf course right next door, same property. So it was maybe sophomore or junior year that instead of after school going to the driving range, I would go to the disc golf course. And then at that point, I just kept doing it.
Do you feel like one is more athletic than the other? Because like I'm not going to deny either one being athletic whatsoever. I've done both, and I think that both are.
I think they're very similar, though.
Really good exercise. Yeah.
I think it's harder to play golf because it's just more unique of a sport than tossing a frisbee. And if you mess up in golf, that's a much greater margin of error than in disc golf, where in disc golf you throw the frisbee and it hits a tree, whereas you hit the golf ball and it goes into the water, and it's like that's a whole exploration on its own. And it's a penalty stroke too, whereas you hit a tree and it's like, okay, I just throw the same shot again. And it's much harder to putt. Don't even get me started with putting. I miss a 5-footer in golf, and I'm like, yep, that's normal.
Yeah,
not good at putting.
No, but each sport has their own techniques. I think they're both very, very. There's a high skill cap, skill ceiling. It takes a lot to master both games, or both sports. But I do respect both pretty much equally, even though I do lean on disc golf more now.
Yeah, it's something I'd actually wouldn't mind getting into. I've seen some of my buddies do it from high school, just go out chilling at one of the courses. I'm like, yeah, I could do that. That looks pretty fun. Obviously not this winter.
No, yeah. I love it because I actually have a disc golf course right by my house, and it's actually with the park district. So I don't have to pay to get into it.
Yeah.
The disc golf course you're saying?
Yeah, I don't have to pay to get into it. It's the Palos one. I'm from Palos Heights.
Okay. I was going to say, usually with disc golf courses, there's 3 in town here. There's Maxwell Park, there's PJ Irvin Park, and there's Forest Park. And all 3 of them, like most disc golf courses, you don't have to pay for. There are some, though. Like I know one in Peoria called Sunset Hills. It's a course that the female pro players play almost every year. You do have to pay $5 to play that one, and a few other ones that I have played before, but with maybe 99% of the courses, you don't have to pay. And that's one of the reasons that a lot of people just like taking it up, or at least trying it, I think.
Yeah. Much more than paying whatever fee you have to pay for golf. I forget
like $30-$40. I don't know, for 18 holes.
I think it's around that. I forget what it is, but I literally have a golf course like half a mile from my house, and then a mile from my house is the disc golf course.
There you go. You'll lean on the disc golf course. I sense it coming.
Yeah.
You know what you
Oh,
should do, Miles?
I
Now that I'm thinking about this, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to
go.
like get back to
Oh, go ahead.
video games and esports. We were told that you also have a Twitch channel, which I want to get into a little bit here. You should go live stream some frisbee. That'd be pretty sick, to be
That would
honest.
be cool.
Okay.
The only thing with that, because I've done it before. The only thing with that is with people that IRL stream, it usually takes a lot of money to invest in a sort of a way to get your signal very soundly connected to Twitch's servers. Because I'm streaming on my phone when I do stream IRL, and it's not near the same quality as people that actually IRL stream.
I've seen some of those setups, and they like have to have like two phones with each one having its like own internet or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about it. All I do is stream from the Streamlabs app. But if it was something that I could do easily, I still will do it, even if I can't have one of those two phone setups. Because it's fun no matter if I'm streaming or not.
So when did you start streaming?
I started streaming again with my roommate. It was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I originally streamed Minecraft. It was just me and him on a LAN world, and we were just playing on our own. And then he was like, "You should stream Rocket League. It's a much more well, it wasn't much more popular, but I was better than I was at Minecraft in terms of being able to put up a stream that could entertain people. Because at that point, I was maybe champ 1 or 2, which is maybe top 10% of players at the time. And that was really the one game that I kept with me up until now.
I mean, you definitely show it. I can say that.
Yeah, 6,000 hours
streams. Yeah. Well, it says on his stream it's around 5,600 hours he's put in, but
yeah, that might be a few months old. Right now, I'm actually looking at it right now. I could update it right now. It'd say 5,976.
Oh, jeez,
Mm-hmm.
Man.
A little bit of it is AFK, but I mean, most of it is me actually playing. I won't say it's mostly AFK at all.
I feel like I've played that in like League though. Like I feel like when you find a game like that though that you're dedicated to, you'll definitely put the hours in. Like I'm sure you'll hit that max with Siege at some point. I know you're not that close. I know you're not that close. But
I'm close to 1,000 right now.
I was just saying, yeah, I can see 1,000.
1/6 of the way there.
Yeah, dude, I haven't even been playing for like close to a year. It's been kind of
well, that's a lot then for a year.
Yeah,
I've been playing Rocket League for 5 and I have 6,000. So I mean,
it's been kind of an addiction. I'm not gonna lie.
Good addiction, fun addiction.
No,
not fun.
It has its ups and downs.
Just like League for me.
True. Same with Rocket League. I'll admit it.
But, yeah,
Rocket League could be either one of like the most chill games or like the most like rage-inducing just craziness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I don't think I rage too much on Rocket League. Like I'll be like, oh, okay, I missed a shot. Or it's like, oh my god, I missed it by like 2 millimeters, like kind of a thing, just to tap it in. And I'm just like, all right, okay, guys, this is fine. This is totally fine. It's not like there's a fire going on in my head right now.
The meme, yeah, I was gonna
like for the meme, yeah, like it's fine, it's totally fine. No, it's fine. I missed that. It's fine. Yeah, like that might be the worst that I get, like kind of a thing. League or certain shooters might be different because it's like, okay, like I clearly told you to do something, you didn't do it, kind of a thing. Where like, okay, if you miss a shot in Rocket League, it could punish you, but it also might be like, okay, it's already early in the game, so you could just reset yourself.
5 minutes left.
Back to it. Yeah.
And the beauty with Rocket League too is, at least if you're playing on PC like I am on Steam, you have the option of playing workshops, or even if you're not on PC, you could make your own custom training pack, or you could just do free play if you wanted to. So you could really make the game what you wanted to make sure you don't rage that much. So if you are playing ranked, and for me, usually I have no problem if I make a mistake myself, but when I get paired up with somebody who's playing really awkwardly and I just can't mesh with them well, I get upset in that regard. So I'll go to ones, or I'll do workshops, and I speedrun a lot of workshop maps. So either one of those things really calms me down. And again, I could put on music, or I could put on a podcast, or I could do whatever, and I could really be in my own element.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one of those games where you can really take the time, and it's pretty easy. I like a lot of like their training system, and the Steam workshops obviously help out a ton.
So I know you said you've been streaming for a while. You've been doing it with this roommate. Is this a roommate you still live with, or are you with somebody else now? Or...
Yeah, I mean, I flip-flopped with roommates in the past 2 years, but the one I currently have is a one that I've been friends with since middle school, and right now I'm a junior, and I've also taken a gap year, so I'm old enough to be a senior if I would have gone through school without breaks. But I've been friends with him for a while, and at that point when he was showing me these games like Minecraft, Rocket League, what have you, it was in middle school, and I just liked the game so much. Now I've kind of used that as like a way that I think of him as a big part of my life, because I've sank 6,000 hours into this game. It's getting me a scholarship at a college that I'm very grateful to go to, and most of all, I'm having fun playing the game. So on top of us already being friends, it kind of brought us closer together.
Yeah, absolutely. So like playing on varsity right now for ISU, what are some of the challenges that you guys like as a team have encountered thus far playing together?
So wouldn't challenge. I mean, yeah, there's a few things running through my mind there. I guess I could start by saying we all play the game differently. I mostly play the 1v1 playlist. I have a teammate, his name's Flash. He usually plays the 3v3 playlist. And I think my other teammate, C Petty, he plays the 2v2 playlist the most. So we all bring a very different style of game into threes, and we all have to play threes. It's not like, oh, some days we play twos and ones. It's like we always play threes. It's a threes game normally. So I have to adapt to not chasing the ball, not playing as fast as I usually do, to let them play more. And so my other teammates have to play a little slower when I'm playing faster. It's like we're all making mistakes, but we have to find a way to make it work if we can't just snap a finger and then get rid of all our mistakes, because that's just not reasonable.
I feel like it's a good thing that you guys kind of have those backgrounds too, for the fact that like you guys just play threes all the time. That's like kind of gets, I don't know, like I know like that's the style that you guys have to play, but it's like I feel like that would just get boring to me after a while. Like if they didn't have other modes, like kind of a thing, or like that you played different modes.
Oh yeah, I would agree. That's why I like flip-flopping between ones, twos, and threes. I'll play all of them for different reasons. Both to get better at the game in different scenarios, and just to experience it different. Like I like playing ones because I don't have to be paired up with a teammate that I might not know how to play with. So I could make sure that all the mistakes are 100% my fault. I don't get mad at myself for it. I could just reflect, oh, I missed a shot and it resulted in a goal because I committed so hard to the shot. Okay, maybe I either got to hit the shot or take something that's a little more conservative of a shot. But to go back to the original question, another challenge that we would have is some schools, like I know Akron specifically, their team is just way beyond everyone else in terms of skill. One of their teammates, for example, he plays on an RLCS team, one of the pro teams, in another word.
Wow.
And
which team do you know?
I think it's E United, and I think his name is Tristan.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. And they don't need a coach per se, because they're so good at the game that they can just coach themselves. But with Illinois State, or any program in general, if you were to have a coach, you would want them to be on pretty much the same skill level, at least at a mental aspect, as the players. And with us, the people that were best at the game for tryouts were put on the team, and we have a coach that is a little lower than us in skill level. So, I mean, obviously it's a good insight for us to have another set of eyes coaching us, but we don't have the money to hire, like, let's say, a big streamer that's been playing for a long time, or an actual coach of like a pro team or another college team that's up there with Akron. So we have to kind of coach ourselves, as well as take what this extra set of eyes has to say with a grain of salt. It's kind of like a self-coaching thing that I've never really done before. Because in golf, I've always had a coach. I even played basketball early in my life. I've always had a coach that I knew more than I did. But now it's like, I think I know more, but I also have to take everything that everyone else is saying into account.
Okay, so I'm going to pause everything because I'm looking at your Twitch right now. on my own
God.
monitor.
Gosh darn it.
And first off, I'm going to go ahead and shout it out for you. HolyAvocados, no space in between there for anybody that's tuning in and watching this. Highly recommend you go check out his Twitch there. He's got his YouTube in the link as well. The first thing that sticks out to me here is I didn't realize that you were like insane because you were crazy. You were using a keyboard and mouse on Rocket League.
Yeah. That's
okay,
not
that's huge. We didn't talk about this yet. I didn't know this. Now I'm not saying my opinion of you has changed a little bit, but you're a little bit crazier in my eyes right now. I respect that. I really respect that.
Yeah, that was attributed to when my current roommate showed me the game. We didn't have like a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox or any like we were both PC gamers. So when he showed me this game, we didn't have a controller. We had to play on keyboard. And I wasn't gonna go buy a controller because when I was playing the game with him, I think we pulled an all-nighter the day he showed me. I was like, I think I jumped into maybe silver or gold when I started. So I had a good understanding of how to control my car and I didn't really want to change that. So by the time that I actually thought, okay, if I had a controller that had a 360-degree range of motion with a joystick that I can control my car with, obviously that's better than maybe 8 or 16 different inputs I could put into the car with a controller with using WASD. But I was already 2,000 hours into the game. I had a good understanding enough, in my opinion, to control my car with the keyboard, and I didn't want to switch it. I do regret not switching because now I have 3 times that amount of hours, and I could probably, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'd be better, maybe I'd be worse, but I think objectively it is easier to play with a controller, but hey, I'm making it work, and I'm, on a CRL team in college. I don't really think I need to change anything at this point.
No, absolutely not. That really threw me off guard. I'm sitting here envisioning a controller player. And like I've got one of my friends that I always play Rocket League with if I'm going to play. He's on mouse and keyboard, and I just like, dude, I don't understand because like I'll hear it and I just hear like,
Oh, yeah.
all these cackling keys, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, like your fingers, are you okay?
Yeah, I used to have a Cherry MX Blue keyboard, and that's the loudest mechanical switches you can get. So I hear you there. I actually have switched, so I always knew that using a controller was objectively better with the range of motion joystick to control your car. So what I actually have is one of the only manufacturers that make analog keyboards. I have a keyboard from them. And what that means is if I were to press down, let's say A, which is to turn left when I'm driving, if I were to press it down on a normal keyboard, I turn left 100%. There's no in between there. But with this keyboard, if I press it down halfway, it will register as half of a key press if I'm like leaning a joystick halfway all the way left. So I can kind of have a smoother experience of the game, which helps with stuff like flicks or conserving my momentum when I'm trying to turn only like a specific amount into like a challenge or I'm hitting the ball or whatever. So I've kind of tried to bridge the gap between keyboard and controller. I'm obviously still way more of a keyboard player because I am playing on a keyboard, but it does really help, in my opinion. There's just a smoother experience with, like I said, flicks or anything else. I think I have an advantage there compared to other keyboard players, at least.
No, I mean, it just shows you how much you've really trained your fingers there because it's not, you're just mechanically gifted. Yeah. Okay. Take it how it is. But, it's just, wow, it's pretty incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if there are pro players that play with a keyboard, but if I were to put it in a percentage, that's probably about 1%, if not less, of players that play Rocket League at the pro level.
Yeah, I could actually see that, being a pretty accurate stat right there. So, I mean,
well,
I guess
this way. I guess, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
So, I mean, do the Akron players play on keyboard?
No.
Oh, so then you're better than
No,
got
no,
it.
no,
No,
Right, so you're better than got it.
your words, not mine. Don't tell them you said that, though. They're gonna come to you and they're gonna be like, "Hey, buddy, we're about to throw hands."
Hey man, it's fine. I throw shade on them all the time because of Kirk. So
I was gonna say Kirk's gonna be listening. Hey, Kirk, if you're listening, by the way.
He loves when I do this. So. We talk about it all the time. No, I was actually looking at your stuff, and I mean, I do like that. Like your donations, like you try not to pocket them as much as more like you try to invest it in yourself. So
yeah, and it looks like you're doing like I gotta say I'm impressed. Color me impressed for sure. But it looks like you're doing a great job. And like, I want to congratulate you for, the success that we're seeing right now on your Twitch page, just because it's pretty cool. And you also get to, represent ISU, which is even cooler.
Exactly. Yeah. I do try to reinvest most of the money, at least, that I make into buying new things. Like, part of it, bought this analog keyboard that I'm using. I have a desk mouse pad the size of my desk that's all green that I used for kind of like a green screen, if you were to say, for my keyboard camera, that I also bought with that money. I only stuff that I originally started with was one camera and one monitor and the computer that I already had. And then beyond that, all the upgrades I've had, I have 3 monitors, 2 cameras. I have arms for both of my cameras. I have lights that I use. I have all these little things that I'm so grateful to have because of the community that I am so grateful to know.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really, like I said, I was impressed for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely something that I do have to congratulate you on, because of the fact that like I did Switch back in college too, and same thing. It was just like like we got all these different donations and things, but it's like I never sought out to like get contracted somewhere, like, or do these different things, because back then it was the same thing that I kind of pretty much do now, which is just I played League. I played League on our B team. And then I also, which would be, I guess, JV for club, but basically I just did with streaming casting games. So I would just cast all the time. So, and that was the nice thing. It was just like, people are like, oh, like this kid knows what he's talking about, like, kind of thing. So it's like, it was enjoyable to kind of have that stuff. And then now, since I like let go of it for a while and then coming back, it's like, it's hard, man. I'm not going to lie. It really is hard to rebuild. Like,
and with this whole COVID stuff going on, that kind of took a dent in my mental health, and it made me stream a little less and spend more time with family.
Oh, absolutely.
Coming back from that, it is very hard, but seeing those few faces in the chat, not faces, I would say usernames, but I've seen their faces before, but just knowing that there are people that still want to support me, I consider them more than a viewer, man. I mean, if I'm streaming for I've been streaming for 5 years, but I've really been streaming for consistently 3. If I'm knowing someone for 3 years, that's a bond that you don't find just over the internet. And most people think of that as just a face and $5 a month, but it's really all the conversations that I've had with that person, all the things outside of Twitch. I'll add them on Snapchat sometimes. I've gotten to know them way more than some of my actual friends. And I'm just so grateful for this platform to give me that opportunity to both be influenced and influence other people very deeply too.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually, I was pretty into it back when the Fortnite days were still a thing, and I didn't just stream Fortnite, but I still have a few people like on Snapchat that I talk to every now and then. And like, I think that's what's cool about Twitch. I can't speak as much to like YouTube per se. But like the community that you build as a small streamer is really cool. It's just some really good friends to be made.
Exactly. And sometimes too, I'll take a break from Rocket League, and I'll either like I forgot who said it before, but with casting League of Legends, I would cast some Rocket League tournaments, or beyond Rocket League, I would play. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jackbox at all.
Oh yeah.
I used some of the money to buy the 5. I think it was either the 5-pack or the 6-pack of the Jackbox games that existed at the time. Sorry. But I would play with them, and it wasn't just me rewarding them. It was them rewarding me, because I got to experience this wonderful game with all of them. And we were in Discord calls, and it's just, Twitch is just a blessing, really. And if anyone's listening right now and you're on the fence about streaming because you don't think you're going to go anywhere with it, it's just a place to make friends at the end of the day. That's really what it is.
Don't go into it trying to make it a job. Go into it, have some fun.
It's definitely possible, but if you go into it trying to make it a job or anything like that, you're going to be really demotivated, because there's so many different people that are doing this, and there's so few people that actually make it a career.
It'll sting, dude. Your mental health will go down the drain.
Yeah, it takes a lot. That's I think kind of why, like, back then I had to stop, was because like I was already finishing school, I was coming back home, like I was trying to get a job and just trying to focus on that and different things. And then I was kind of like, okay, yeah, I still need to do this on the side, because I was making some money. It wasn't much, of course, but it's like you're making something with it. And I was just like, man, I'm like burnt out. Like, and like at the point now, it's like you go to my stream, like I don't have a donation button. I don't do subs because obviously I'm not affiliated or anything like that. You know, like when I stream just for fun. Like I don't need to have like the satisfaction of like, oh, I'm making money on this platform or anything like that. Like there's times I go on YouTube and I stream, man. Like, like
Yeah, it's
I'm
whatever.
not making anything off of that. Like you know, like I like to switch it up. You know, like I gotta use both platforms. I mean, I'll never go to Facebook unless they gave me a contract. That'd be the only way I'd do that. But
I don't like Facebook. The part of the like what I don't like about Facebook, and I'm sure this could be changed, is like, I've seen some people doing it and I'll like comment on their stream, but then like my family and friends will like my comment, and like I comment some really inappropriate crap, and I didn't think that like they would be able to see what I was commenting on like a live stream, So I
Yeah.
didn't like that feature at all, because I was like, I don't want my mom to see what I put when I'm watching somebody, do this or that.
And it's kind of the same way you think of you talk to your friends differently than you talk to your family, and that's the same way I treat Twitch. I treat Twitch as a circle of friends that I have, and I talk to them differently than I talk to my family. And I will admit, I swear a lot more on Twitch than I do with my family.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. But, you're never going to be walking into your family dining room like, Keck W, my fellow gamers.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
God.
way. Oh, God.
Poggers, everybody. Mom made dinner.
I feel so bad that I'm saying this. I literally had someone ask me what Keck W was, and I was just like, "Oh God!"
You can't even explain it.
I know you can't even explain it. I'm like, "Did you look it up?" I go like, "Do you know it's a meme? Do you know what memes are? Do you like this that?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, go look it up," because I'm not gonna tell you because there's just no real way. I'm like, just look at interactions like on Twitch when you see people put Keck W in, and then you'll understand why. And they're like, I'm like, I'm like,
it's a whole different language barrier.
oh yeah. I feel like this language barrier is easier than trying to actually learn another language.
Yeah, to be fair.
To be fair on that one.
But sometimes it can be equally as frustrating to explain.
Yeah, like, Mom, don't ask what poggers means. Try to game with the boys.
Or Mom, just please stop saying poggers in the first place.
Oh God.
Not very cash money.
It's not stonks, Mom. Cut it out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we are gonna be running a little bit low on time here. Coming up, any last questions, gang?
Yeah, so I know you said you like kind of doing more of the variety, which is good. I'm surprised you actually didn't mention it, but on Sundays you like to do scary game streams. Is that right?
Yeah, I used to do that so much, and then when the whole COVID thing happened and I moved back in with my parents, I kind of didn't have the same setup going on, and I also just ran out of games too. But mostly it was the demotivation. But yes, I do stream a lot of, or I used to at least stream a lot of scary games, and I would kind of not overhaul, but I would change the way my Twitch was formatted, and I would have scary alerts, and when people would follow or donate or cheer bits, it would jump scare me, and that was a big source of my money for a little bit there, and it let me upgrade a lot of things on my stream.
That's genius marketing too. Like, that's really well thought out.
Thank you. And it wasn't all my idea. There's a lot of people that are already doing that. I just thought it was something that me with my personality would be great for my
absolutely. Seems like something that's very good investment for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And it's I will compilate a lot of the clips I have into YouTube videos that are on my channel. They don't get a lot of views, but I kind of treat a lot of social media stuff, and I'll put YouTube in under that blanket of social media. I treat it as like a online diary, if you will. And I could look back at it and I could think, oh, during this part of my life, not only was I playing these scary games and having this great time I'm watching myself have, but I was also doing X, Y, and Z outside of streaming. And it reminds me of my family, my friends, and a lot of other things that I just like using that platform for that, because I don't really keep an actual diary. I just do this stuff online.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really cool point to make. Looking back at it, and it's not like we're really going to have in a few years, it's not like we're going to have scrapbooks or diaries or this or that. It's all going to be online, and Snapchat can send you an end of the year thing. Like, here's what you did in May 15th of 2013. And I'm standing there like at 8th grade graduation or something, it's just, it's a lot to look back on, and a lot, of cool memories that you can get.
Oh, I agree. I mean, between that and Facebook, like there's always definitely reminders that you can have and things like
MySpace
that.
for you, old man.
MySpace. I've never
Sir,
known.
sir,
Don't out him like that. Come on.
You okay? You wanted to trigger me because I called you old earlier. I got it. I see you, man. No. And MySpace. I mean, like, I didn't even really do it, to be honest. Like, I think I legitimately started social media on Facebook. I don't think I ever did MySpace, to be honest.
Hey man,
Like,
denial is the first step in accepting and moving
okay,
on.
like someone made it for me, but I never did it. Like, I never did it. Like, I never logged into it. Like, it was like, always the girlfriend at the time would just be like, "Oh yeah, let's take you on MySpace," and I'm just like, "What? Why do I need it?" Like,
Yeah.
like I'm like, who am I supposed to share stuff with? Like, what's the point of this? Like, I think I just didn't understand it then, and I'm like, oh, but that's kind of like Facebook. I guess I'll just do Facebook then. I pretty much just started since there. So, I guess the one question, the segue off of this that I would ask you real quick, is, so I know you said you're a junior, could be a senior. What's your degree? We didn't ask that.
Well, I've changed majors actually in the past 2 days. Funny you
Oh,
asked.
wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So when I started college, currently, to answer your question, I'm going to go for math education. Hopefully I'll be a math teacher, just like my
okay.
mom.
Nice.
But I originally started with computer science, and I started my freshman year at Eastern Illinois. And I quickly realized, after one of my friends basically walked me through computer science too, that I shouldn't do that because I was overwhelming myself. So it was at that point that I took a gap year because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And up until 2 days ago, I was doing communications. And after taking a semester of 3 different communications classes, although it was very interesting information in terms of how to speak to people, kind of like psychology and sociology, if you will, but the whole like personal relations and the job realm that exists in communications just really didn't interest me. And then I looked back to my parents, and it kind of explained why I stream. I like being an entertainer and I like helping people, and I could do both of those things by being a teacher.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of wigged me out as I literally just changed my major to radio and mass media, which means I'll be all communication.
Okay. I mean, it is very, very interesting, but just not for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, I've been an entertainer my whole life, and to be able to go work in TV and radio is going to be a perfect fit. But I mean, I got one more question, then we'll wrap it up here. It's kind of a meme question. Are you warming up right now?
Oh yeah, could you hear that?
I wasn't gonna say anything. I'm swearing he's doing something.
I swear my mic's cardio. I thought you couldn't hear.
I was like, either
A cardioid.
I was literally like, he's writing an essay right now, or this man's warming up.
No, yeah, I'm just messing around on Rocket League. My teammates were waiting on me to hop in. It's no rush at all. Like, I appreciate the questions. I've never done like a podcast like this before, so it's cool to kind of like think of why I do the things I do.
Yeah, tell your friends. We gotta expand our audience. Tell your friends.
We gotta pump those numbers up, man.
Tag 3 friends for good luck.
Sure. For sure.
All right. But with that, we are going to let you go. We know that you have a match coming up tonight, and we wish you the best of luck in that. Thanks for coming on today, man.
Oh, thank you. But I'll assure you, no luck is going to be required during this match.
Ooh, okay. All right. I mean, one more time, I'll plug your Twitch, HolyAvocados, no space in there. Check out his YouTube, check out his Twitch, check everything out. Lots of entertainment to come. But that is going to wrap it for us. So I'm Saxy Maxi, joined with Gigatron and this week's guest, Myles HolyAvocados Miller. And we will see you next time. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one, guys.